Hey, howdy. We're back. We're doing some more Yumatuki. This is actually... If my voice sounds a little rough, and it gets a little rougher as the video goes on, every once in a while this OBS setup gives me trust issues. This is one of those times. At one point I opened up the map, because the plan for today is I want to go to Depths. The very deep water set of maps. And I made it to Square Ruins, and then clicked to open the map, and the map opened in a different tab and screwed up the recording. And the entire, last 5 minutes are just a static image of half of Square Ruins map. So that was a little frustrating, but I'm just gonna start by doing Depths, and then once that's done, I want to do the free expedition to Glitched Aquarium, because I don't know if I've been to any of these worlds yet. But yeah, let's start with the long route. Let's start with Depths. And I know that I could technically... There's technically a really big shortcut that I could take here. If I were to go through, Rainbow Silhouette World? Because you can go through, Urisuki's bedroom, to Mirror Room, to, Rainbow Silhouette World, to... It's to Train Station B to Cosmic World or something like that. There's some way you can skip huge chunks of this path. But I don't really want to have to rely on Mirror Room. So yeah, let's do this instead. But I hope y'all are doing well. I've been doing a lot of very fun things. A lot of fun things recently. I've found another thing to hyperfixate on. This time it's math. I'll explain more about that in a second. I found some cool mathy stuff. I watched Lord of the Rings with friends. That was a great time. Where the hell? Okay, hang on. Let me back up. I think I'm stuck in a dead end. Help! Help! Okay, there we go. Let's try this way, it should be fine. It's the first time in a while that I've gotten stuck here. But it's fine, I figured it out. So, I've been hyperfixating on some interesting things. I ended up watching Lord of the Rings with some friends. Just the first movie, we're gonna circle back and watch the other two later. But Fellowship is really, really, really good. And, frankly, I have nothing but good things to say about it. I really liked the practical effects, I really liked the acting. It's kind of incredible how many actors I recognized. Maybe not immediately remembering their names, but just, faces. There's a shocking amount of actors in that movie who, show up in all sorts of other places. The story is obviously really great, the soundtrack is incredible. And we watched the extended edition, which I honestly couldn't tell, it feels crazy. But, I walked into it knowing the movie was going to be unbelievably long, and it was. It was almost 4 hours, I think. It was 3.5. But I was at the edge of my seat for most of it. It is a very, very, very good movie, very well paced, even for how long it is. And something that did stick out to me that I thought was very interesting was the horror sensibilities of that movie are kind of understated by a lot of people, but I found that very fascinating. Because to give you a little bit of history on the company that footed the bill for Lord of the Rings, New Line Cinema. So, New Line Cinema was, for the longest time, the way that their main source of income was horror movies. And I believe that's how they connected with Peter Jackson in the first place. But more to the point, there's a common joke, a joke name that's ascribed to New Line Cinema that it's referred to as the house that Freddy built. You might have heard that around before. Now when they say Freddy, they're referring to Freddy Krueger, because the very first movie that New Line Cinema produced that was super profitable was A Nightmare on Elm Street. And there's this inextricable knot between New Line Cinema and horror, and you can feel that even through Peter Jackson. There's a lot of aspects of Lord of the Rings that just feel like a horror movie. And that I think that only works to the film's advantage. It gives it a very unique, very serious tone. And they're not afraid to go crazy with the practical effects or with the scares, because that's what they're used to. So you end up with a lot of situations like what I can only describe as a Sauron jump scare when I think it's when Frodo has the letter and he hands it over to Gandalf, and Gandalf puts his hand on the letter, and there's a brief half-second flash of the Eye of Sauron with a music stinger. And the thing that cracks me up about that scene is that that's also the very first time you see the Eye of Sauron. It's not expanded on for a minute. It's not expanded on. I don't even remember when it's explicitly described. It's described by Saruman, I think. So that's quite a bit later into the film. But it's extra freaky because that's the first time most viewers watching that for the first time would be exposed to the Eye of Sauron. But between that and the moment where Bilbo snaps at Frodo in Rivendell, and I almost said Riverdale, Rivendell. And there's a lot of scenes involving the troll feel very horror-y. It's really, really interesting. And to be completely honest, I never ended up watching all three of these movies as a kid. I watched all of Fellowship, most of Two Towers, and I never made it through Return of the King because I always got scared off by the giant spider. But yeah, it's been really fun. I'm more than happy to go back to that at some point. But apart from that, I've been doing a lot of math, which that has been fun. I'll touch on that in a moment. But the other thing that I noticed that has been making me very happy is that there's quite a few new people. Oh my god. That looked like the guy from Sexy Hiking. That's awesome. Where was I? There have been a bunch of new people making their way to the channel, which I've been very happy to see. I even saw a comment, and I didn't comment on it, but I think I might end up hearting it. Just to be clear, if I don't heart a comment, that doesn't mean that I don't like you. It's just usually when I heart a comment, that is essentially my way of saying I would want to make an actual comment in response. I would want to make an actual reply to this, but I don't know what to say because I'm just gonna heart it instead. But I'm a very social person in that regard. If I had the social fortitude, I would leave long diatribes over basically every comment in the comment section because I like talking with people. But either way, I saw a comment that was like, "Hey YouTube, you could please stop showing me this. Please stop showing me this video. You've shown it to me constantly." And I thought that was interesting because I never would have expected one of my videos be in that situation. Because it's, like, it has almost always been a very niche audience. And more to the point, YouTube has flatly refused to recommend my videos for a long time, but I guess that's changed. So that's exciting. It seems like the video, Cat's Eye View, the one where I went to Floating City, did, like, disproportionately well. I think it's gonna break 1,000 views, which is unbelievable. Because, like, usually my videos do not get that much traffic. Or if they do, usually that's because it's an Isaac modding video, and it's gonna be a bunch of people who come in for like 5 minutes to say, wow, this is cool, you're a wizard, and then never touch it again. So the fact that it's getting this much foot traffic is really, really cool. God, I'm way too sweaty for sitting at a computer. It's been pouring rain for like the past half a week, and it's gonna go for another week and a half more. And this part of the house does not have amazing ventilation in terms of like, not in terms of like mildew and stuff, but more in terms of like when something happens outside, I can feel it in here. So if there's a super cold day, it's gonna be really cold over here. When there's a super hot day, it's gonna be really warm over here. When there's a super humid day, it's going to be super humid over here, and that seems to be what the situation is. Oh, it's this guy, right. I really like Wataru's, like, I like his like, creature designs, they're very nice. But yeah, it's been very cool to see this channel grow. And, like, slowly cultivating it over time. Let me just sanity check. Now I'm paranoid that I'm gonna look over at OBS and it's gonna be frozen again. Pretty sure we're good. So, it's made me very happy, because at the end of the day, my primary goal for this channel has very little to do with making money or, like, getting big as a YouTuber, because it's just a trap to assume that, like, okay, you're a big YouTuber, that means you can do big things, you have a wide audience, you can make whatever you want. No, unfortunately, that's not how it works. And that's part of the reason why I've started to make videos is kind of the opposite. Because what happens with so many people is they get roped into making very specific types of videos, one, maybe two if you're lucky. Once they reach a certain fever pitch of an audience. And I've seen it happen time and time again with all sorts of communities. And the response to leaving to go do something else is usually, like, varies wildly depending on the series. Like, there are some game series where people will actively encourage you to leave, either out of spite or just because they want you to go and do better things with your time. Maybe I'm just jaded because a lot of the people that I follow are either current or former TF2 content creators, and TF2 is pretty infamous for this. So the community has, the community has trust issues, is the nicest thing I'll say about them. But it's led to me being a bit more jaded about who, not necessarily who my audience is, but, like, why am I doing this at all? And what I ended up realizing is that, like, the way that I like to structure the things that I do is it's all in search of new things, or at least new experiences, or at the very least, like, cool new things inside of old things that I've already experienced. I don't mind rewatching things, in fact, I usually delight in it. But I want to try and get something new out of it, right? And that's part of the reason why video games are so fun, is that with a movie, like, there's a familiarity in movies because movies are usually the exact same thing every time. There are some exceptions, and there are some movies where you can just rewatch it every single time and get a new experience every single time. And there's, like, ways around that. There's, like, the sets of movies that are specifically designed to hide tons and tons of little details that keep you coming back. But most of the time, most movies only have, like, a lifetime of 4 or 5 watches that you can get out of them before they become stale. And I feel like I'm being pretty generous about that. There are some movies that they're stale by the time you get past the first watch. But all the same, I really want to use this platform to introduce people to new things, because I know it's so difficult to try new things and to introduce yourself and others to things that they never would have experienced before. Because people love doing things that are familiar to them. So, like, on one hand, there's naturally going to be some pushback if I turn about face and go, hey, by the way, I'm going to be playing nothing but Your Peter shorts for 5 consecutive months. People would have reason to be upset at me for that. Not necessarily my goal, though. My goal is to get people to see things they wouldn't have normally seen. New games, new experiences, cool games, cool experiences, and then kind of just work from there. So, the bulk of my backlog, I don't know how much of it I'm actually going to put on the channel, but I at least want to talk about it. Because there's so much cool stuff that I want to experience myself, and I also want to expose others to. It's better for everyone. And that's also, there's stuff on my plate that I still haven't even finished. I still have to get back to 4 Heroes of Light, and I think I'm gonna record this, I'm gonna take a little break, and then I'm gonna come back and do 4 Heroes of Light today, and get it out of the way. Not get it out of the way per se, but like, do a little bit more work on it. At least if I remember this route without having to look at the map. Okay, hang on. Let me, just to be sure, let me check this next path. So... it is here. It's here, and then it's... oh, I saw that. Don't you... we're not doing this a second time. Hang on. It popped out. The tab popped out again. Hang on. Properties. Open selector. Yumituki Online. Don't be doing that. I don't know why I'm reprimanding my damn browser. We're in this situation. Okay. I think I've been accidentally holding mouse 1 is what's going on. Maybe I, like, held mouse 1 and it popped out the tab. And if I go back and check, yeah, we're still fine. Okay, good. There's not a lot of areas where I'm going to be this reliant on a map, so this reasonably shouldn't happen in any other place other than Square Ruins, but this is the curse of this place. And we're fine from here. Okay, cool. But yeah, 4 Heroes I still need to get through. I feel a little bad because it's been like... God, how long at this point? How long has it even been? It's been so long that my mic isn't bad anymore. My mic wasn't even that bad to begin with last time I played. Because the last time I played was when we fought Leviathan, which is... it's gotta be like 5 or 6 months ago at this point. Maybe that's an exaggeration, maybe it isn't, I haven't checked. Okay, hang on. Here, okay. I have to remember where... I have to remember how this area works a little bit. And then this leads over here. This leads to the open area. And then before I go to depths, I kind of want to go to the aquarium, just so this can be like... This can be an aquarium-themed day. It's like we can go to the, I keep wanting to say QXY, the Wataru, aquarium, and then we get to go to whatever the daily was, Glitched Aquarium. Oh, new badge, cool. I like this area a lot. Kinda hard to make out what is in this picture. I think that's a furry lobster, right? Some sort of crustacean. It looks amazing, though. But yeah, the math thing is going to be very fun, because I think I mentioned that earlier. Very, very cool mathematical... Who's it, what's it? And we made it. That's awesome. I love this cutscene so much. I love the graphics. They're so cool. Just the way that this looks. But it's so cool. It's so... This is the kind of map that I would love to just see how this all... See, like, the massive panorama that Wataru must have had to make for this. But it's just, it looks so pretty. It looks so nice. It's an area so nice, I wish I could come here twice, but it would be way longer than 30 minutes if I did. And this, too, I love that there's a boarded-up connection here that is probably never going to get filled, but just the fact that it exists is really fun. Just hinting at, this isn't even technically as far down as Ursuki's memories go. We could go deeper, we could go as deep as we want, and that's the beauty of it. I love that. I love that so much. And the music is also, like, do I even need to mention how good the music is here? I don't know if this is a Y24U song or what. Oh, right, shit. Eyeball Bomb doesn't work here. You save real quick. And then the goal is to make it to the other aquarium. I'm not going to promise anything because I haven't gone through any of these worlds before. There's a chance that one of these ends up being a, No, you know, I'm looking at this list. I don't think it'll be that bad. I've been surprised before. But the starting bit is not that bad. But yeah, math. So, the main thing that I've been doing has to do with what I've been referring to as nothing burgers. Now, when I say nothing burgers, I need to be clear, this is not being used in a pejorative sense. There is a, there's a number file video that I found that really, like, set me off on this path that was called them, like, zero sandwiches or something like that. It's... When I refer to a nothing burger, I mean a number that is a 1, followed by a series of zeros, and followed by another 1. And to be clear, 11 also counts, even though it has zeros in it. This area is so gorgeous. This is... It is so amazing to me that Moriwo came back after, like, a... What was it, like a 4-year hiatus, and proceeded to make maps that were exactly as pretty as the maps that they used to make. That is so cool. That's so incredibly cool. Oh, right, Midtown. This is not where I needed to go, but this is still beautiful. Let me at least get a picture of this stuff first. I think the thumbnail is still going to be the sexy hiking guy, but like, how can I not take pictures of Morio's locations? They're so nice. But anyway, the number file video went into detail about these, like, zero sandwiches and what happens when you try and take their factors, and how, like, you can factorize them, and how there's this weird, like, recursive properties of their prime factorizations that they show up in each other's factorizations depending on the condition because of, like, the symmetry of being 1 zeros 1. Because what you end up with is you end up with a you have 1 zeros 1, and then you end up with, it's a bunch of, like, combinations of 9s and zeros and 1s. You end up with, like, 9090909091. Oh, I see. I like that this is almost identical to one of the little geometries that's in Sierpinski Maze. But it's been very cool. I'm probably going to do some kind of write-up about it because I've been having a blast. No promises on it being an edited YouTube video. With every passing project, I'm becoming more choosy about what will be my first edited project. And it's getting to the point where I probably just won't do edited videos, because I'm starting to realize I just don't really like making edited videos. Nothing inherently wrong with doing it, but it's just not really my bag. Maybe I can, once I have, like, something more cohesive for one of these projects, I can, like, collaborate with someone else to, like, work with them for them to do it for me. But, I mean, I would have to have a full setup for a video first, right? So, probably won't be for a while. Okay, yeah, this is the starting area. So it's over here then? Like, where exactly am I going here? This area is beautiful. Ah, oh, interesting. So this is the exact same map. It's just it loops you backwards to a different part of it. So this eventually leads up to Whispering Sewers. Oh wait, is it over here then? That is very cool. I wonder actually that eye. No, that eye is up here. I was really wondering if that was a Oh, what is the area I'm thinking of? It's Dream Pool, I think. Where there's like unique behavior if you walk up to it while you have invisible. Oh, this looks so nice. Yeah, and here's Whispery Sewers. Okay. Oh, this is Toilet Room. It's been a while since I've been in here. Okay, cool. Hmm. I think I might cut it off relatively soon. Even though I know I just got to the next part of this path. I've been walking around Azalea Passage for a while. But we're over time, and I think I might just want to do this whole path some other time, especially now that all of this is like properly mapped out, like that big black and white area is mapped out, and there could potentially be some stuff that I missed. And I know there's something in particular I missed. I might just want to come back here later. So I'm gonna like keep walking until I find like a cool thing, and then I'll stop. Ooh, very cool thing. All right, that'll do it, I think. I'll be back. I'll be back on to actually get to what was that? Glitched Aquarium. Keep put like a mental pin in that. I'll have to come back to it later. But yeah, that's all I got for now. Thanks so much for watching, y'all.